Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360. I'm Thelma Okoro. Hundreds of Nigerians on Monday marched through major cities in the country in protest of what they call unfavorable government policies. The protesters marched in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt and other major cities across the country. They gathered under the aegis of the I Stand With Nigeria group. In Lagos, the protesters marched from the National Stadium in Surulere to the National Theatre, Igomu, while the protesters in Abuja marched to the Presidential Villa. Now, among those present at the protest are the owner of Sahara Reporters, Omoyele Showore, and top comedian Sheyi Lo, as well as top media personality Charlie Boy and Nollywood actor Baj Adebule. Nigerian singer Two-Face was the man originally behind the social media buzz about the protest. But over the weekend, he called off the protest, citing security concerns. However, the activist group that called for the protest says the demonstrations would go ahead.
The protest is an opportunity for Nigerians to aggregate their concerns and let the federal government hear them loud and clear. Not just the federal government, state governments, because there are states that owe salaries. So it's an opportunity to aggregate the voices and the concerns of Nigerians under one voice.
The motive is clear. The motive is that we must participate in government. The motive is that the people who are here, the power in the people is more than the people who are in power. So we must let our voices be heard. The motive is the fact that rice must be available to the common man. The motive is the fact that when I live here today, I must eat a bar and not force myself to compulsory fasting. The motive is the fact that if I finish education, I should have a job. The motive is the fact that if I cough, I should be able to run to a hospital. The motive, you can look up there, we have a dilapidated structure. The motive is the fact that a national symbol like this should represent an excellent nation. The motive is the fact that those of us who work hard, there must be a system of reward. The motive is the fact that government must downsize and government must become smaller and non-governmental organizations and private organizations must become bigger. The motive is the fact that we cannot have government living large at the expense of the generality of the people. The motive, sir, is the fact that there must not be a difference between those who are in government and those who are being governed. Once there's a difference, it means government has failed in its responsibility.
Following his withdrawal from today's protest, Two-Face has again apologized to Nigerians. In a statement issued by the Two-Face Foundation, his official organization, the musician promised to continue working on avenues to help the Nigerian people be heard. The singer had cancelled his participation at the much-publicized protest against the Nigerian government. This drew mixed reactions from many Nigerians. Two-Face has also denied being arrested and detained by the state security services. He expressed gratitude to those who have shown concern over the purported arrest. NLC President Ayuba Waba says organized labor in Nigeria, in collaboration with its civil society allies, will organize a one-day rally for good governance and corruption. According to Waba, the rally, which is billed for the 9th of February 2017, it is expected to address the issues of minimum and living wage, as well as payment of salaries, pension and gratuity. It will be held in both Lagos and Abuja. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has written to the National Assembly saying he intends to extend his leave indefinitely. He had been expected back into the country on February 5, 2017. He says the extension is in order to complete and receive results of a series of tests recommended by his doctors. His absence has deepened suspicions among many Nigerians that his health is worse than officials are admitting publicly. His spokesman Garba Shehu has continued to insist that the president is not in any serious medical condition. Meanwhile, Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed has denied, saying President Muhammadu Buhari decided to extend his leave in the UK over a 40 aircraft. In a short statement sent to TV360 Nigeria, Lai Mohammed says he has never spoken to anyone on the issue of the president's return. Lai Mohammed, who is the Minister of Information and Culture, has also said that the Islamization of Nigeria is impossible. Mohammed was reacting to reports that Nigeria had become the most dangerous place for Christians to live. Speaking at a town hall meeting in Kwara State, the minister says the Nigerian constitution makes the dominance of one religion impossible. He said those accusing the government of Islamizing the country were trying to divert our attention away from its anti-corruption war. Special advisor to the president on prosecution says the constitution allows President Muhammad Buhari to extend Justice Walter Onogen's tenure as acting Chief Justice of Nigeria. Onogen was sworn in as acting Chief Justice of the country by President Muhammad Buhari in November 2016. His position as substantial Chief Justice of the country was subject to confirmation by the Senate. But it has now been more than 2 months after his swearing-in ceremony, and the presidency is yet to forward his name to the Senate, generating a debate on his appointment. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has sent an open letter to U.S. President Donald Trump. The group is seeking the repatriation of about $500 million, part of the recovered loot stolen by former head of state Sani Abacha. The organization pointed out that its request is consistent with the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, which the United States and Nigeria have ratified. It requires the U.S. to fulfill its commitment to assist Nigeria in recovering assets looted by the country's former government officials. Former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode has asked the Federal High Court in Abuja to adjourn his case to allow him explore other options of settlement aside from going to trial. Counsel to Fani-Kayode, Ahmed Raji, who made the application on his behalf, says that since the sum of money involved was only 26 million naira, he believed that there were other options of settlement. Now, the prosecuting counsel, Johnson Ojobane, has said that he was not opposing the application. The judge, John Soho, has now adjourned the matter till March 14th for commencement of trial. Acting Speaker of Ondo State House of Assembly Malaki Okoke says the police had sealed the assembly over its leadership crisis. The Ondo State National Assembly had on Friday, January 27th, impeached its Speaker, Jumoke Akindele, and other principal officers over allegations of 15 million naira fraud. Koka says the National Assembly had adjourned sitting indefinitely following the police action. The Ahmed Makafi-led People's Democratic Party has denied that the party is financially broke and could not meet up with its financial obligations. National publicity of the party, Dayo Adeyeye, made the denial in a statement issued in Abuja. He says the allegation was an outright falsehood. The Dangote Group of companies has declared 285 truck drivers wanted over theft of about 3.5 million customized tires of the company. Coordinator of the company's National Patrol Unit, Abdullahi Magaji, who is a retired commissioner of police, disclosed this while addressing journalists. Magaji says each tire of the company had an identification number and the number was registered against the driver's name at collection point.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello, Alhaji. Right now I'm in Abuja. No. Hello, Adamu. Right now I'm in Kano. Yes. When I get back, I will just call you. Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing. What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are we as we speak?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
Well, you just lied to someone that we are in Abuja.
Keep quiet. Who told you you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you are raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back to Business Stories now. The Naira dropped to a record low of 500 to the dollar on the black market on Monday. The Naira has been hovering near the 500 level for the past 2 weeks. On the official market, it has been quoted at 305 per dollar, where it has been trading since last August. Last week, the Central Bank of Nigeria sold $660 million in 3 and 5 month currency forwards at an auction aimed at clearing a backlog of dollar demand. But traders say that was not enough to satisfy the currency market. Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves rose by 1.43% to $28.28 billion in the week to February 2nd, climbing to their highest level in a year. Nigeria's dollar reserves have gained 8.39% so far this year, but are far off a peak of $64 billion hit in August 2008. The central bank did not provide any reason for the recent rise, which may be attributed to the rise in global oil prices. Oil prices rose on Monday, with traders shifting money into crude futures as the dollar weakened. Brent crude was trading at $56.96 per barrel, while U.S. crude futures were up 18 cents at $54.01 per barrel. Traders say the rising prices were a result of cash being poured into crude futures due to a weakening dollar. However, markets were held back by more signs of growing U.S. production, as well as worries that import demand in China could slow anytime soon. Libya's Coast Guard spokesman says it has intercepted at least 1,131 migrants near the western city of Sabratha over the course of a week. Ayub Kazim says 431 migrants had been intercepted on 4 inflatable boats off Sabratha's coast on Thursday, and some 700 had been picked up on January 27 from 3 wooden vessels in the same area. Those intercepted on January 27 also include migrants from Syria, Tunisia, Libya, and the Palestinian territories. Liberia's president has ordered a 60-day freeze on official overseas travel to save the country's depleted foreign currency holdings. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's office says the measure applies to all ministers and heads of other government bodies, as well as their deputies and assistants. According to a weekend statement, exceptions can only be obtained by a one-on-one meeting with the president herself, and these will only be guaranteed if it is determined that such travel is of utmost imperative to Liberia. The home-based Super Eagles of Nigeria have been paired against the winner of the qualification tie between Togo and Benin for a place in the 2018 African Nations Championships. The winner of the ties, which will be played between August 11 to 20, 2017, will advance to the group stages of the 2018 CHAN. The tournament will be held between January 11th and February 2nd in Kenya. It will be the 5th edition of the tournament, though Nigeria has only participated in the last 2 editions. Super Eagles coach General says he will still consider Odion Ighalo for selection into the Super Eagles despite the forward's move to China. The 27-year-old striker joined the Chinese Super League after a 2.5 year at Watford Premier League side. Raw commended the striker on his move and insisted that he will still consider him for selection in the Super Eagles squad. Cameroon on Sunday defied all expectations to claim their 5th African Nations Cup title. The indomitable Lions, who were ranked as dark horses, won the title thanks to an 88-minute winner by striker Vincent Abubakar. Abubakar's brilliant late winner secured a first title since 2002 for a young Cameroon team who were missing 7 first-team players. Cameroon will also host the next edition of the African Cup of Nations in 2019. That's all we have on News Now. Thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.